Okay, so it looks like we're going to have snow, so I didn't want to lose any time, and I will explain this to you through video. I can only put 15 minutes on video, as far as I know, maybe less, so there will probably be a couple videos. So here we go, Chapter 9, Comparisons, and we're doing quiz number 1 now. We're doing comparisons with as, and don't forget to read the directions, always read the directions. Compare the people's ages using just as blank as, just as adjective as, I'm sorry, almost as adjective as, not as adjective as, or nearly as adjective as. And let's talk what they mean. So if we just say as big as, that means that A and B have the same size. And then when we add just, it emphasizes the fact that they're equal. So as big as and just as big as have the same meaning. Okay, we have almost as big as. That is going to mean that B is bigger than A. A is almost as big as B. A is a little bit smaller. Not as big as B. A is not as big as B. This means that A is smaller, but we don't know how much smaller. And then not nearly as big as B. That means that A is smaller and it's much smaller. Okay? By the way, as I'm doing this, of course you guys cannot speak with me, so I would expect you to send me questions via email. My email address is avanlanduyt@nvcc.edu. If you are in some kind of emergency, you may text me. Make sure that you contact me first. If you need to have a phone call, send me a text first. And then it's better, maybe I will call you. But don't forget to let me know who you are. Okay? So if you're texting me, you're emailing me, whatever, don't assume that I know who you are. So you put 1984, and you know that I have two classes. I have a morning class and an afternoon class. If you're morning, put AM. If you're afternoon, put PM. And then, of course, your name. And then my phone number is 703-477-8167. Okay, here we go. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so compare using just as blank as, almost as blank as, not as blank as, or not nearly as blank as. Remember, in the blank goes only an adjective. Okay, so we have Minsu, and Minsu's right here, 23, and we have Itipo, and Itipo is 23. Well, they're the same age. Which one is the same age? This one here, just as adjective as. So that's going to be, Minsu is just as old as Itipo. Okay, and then we're going to compare both Minsu and Itipo to Albert. And Albert, well, Albert's 45 now, but when I made this I was 44. But they are not blank Albert. Now, that's a big difference, right? So the big difference is going to be not nearly as adjective as, but they are not nearly as old as Albert. Okay, and then we have Khalid, who is 18, and Minsu and Itipo, who are the same age. So He's not as old as they are, right? So is not as old as Minsu and Itipol are. But the age difference is, let's see, it looks like 5 years. That depends on your opinion. You could say is not nearly as old as Minsu and Itipol are. Is not as old as Minsu and Itipol. Is almost. It really, really depends on your perspective here. Okay, and then let's look at Itipol, who is 23, and An, who is 24. Now that's close, right? So which one has the close meaning? Well, this one here, almost as old as. So I'd put Itipol is almost as old as An. Okay, so I hope that you guys understand that. Let me erase. So I like this, and then I don't like it because some of it takes time, but it is nice. I love toys. Okay, here we go with the weather. And let's see, what are we doing with the weather? Well, the directions say, let's see, directions say, compare the temperatures using just as, I'm going to say warm right now, just as warm as, almost as warm as, not as warm as, or not nearly as warm as. Okay, and then we have the temperatures there, and I put them in both American Fahrenheit and International Celsius. Now the adjectives that we need to use are these here: hot, warm, cool, or cold. Now, since we're doing this in English and in America, let's take the American perspective of what is considered to be hot and what's considered to be cold. Well, hot is 85 and over. And then we have warm. Warm is 70 degrees and higher. Cool, 60 to 70. And cold is anything below 60. Okay? And of course we have other adjectives, but don't want to make it too complicated for you. Okay. So first we have Budapest, and Budapest is right there. I will go ahead and use the Celsius since that's what you're used to, but normally I would use Fahrenheit. So we're looking at Budapest and Berlin. Okay, so Budapest is 21 degrees and Berlin is 21 degrees. So that would be the same, right? So Budapest, and we're talking about the past, so it's was. Budapest was just as blank as. Okay, and now we need to choose our adjective. Now, I explained it in Fahrenheit, in degrees Fahrenheit. So 70, which is 21, is going to be warm. So we're going to use the word warm. Was just as, oops, let me erase that. Okay, sorry about that. Was just as warm as Berlin. Okay, and now Cairo's jumping in. Okay, and Cairo was 32, which is 90 in Fahrenheit. And what would we say about this? Well, this is going to be hot. Okay, but they weren't. Okay, so we've already got not here, so you're not going to add not in this blank. Please pay attention to that. So I would say that 21 to 32 or 70 to 90 is a big difference. That's in American it's 20 degrees. In Celsius it's 11. That's a big difference. So I would want to use this one. Okay, but they weren't nearly as blank as. And Cairo is what we're comparing to, so we need to use the adjective for Cairo, which is hot. They weren't nearly as hot as Cairo. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, next we've got Madrid, and that's Madrid right there, and Cairo. Okay, and those are similar. It's not very big. So we could use not as hot as. So both Madrid and Cairo, I would say, are hot. So you could use not as hot as, almost as hot as. I'm going to use almost. Okay, so Madrid was almost as hot as Cairo. Okay, and then next we've got Budapest and Madrid together. Budapest is 70, Madrid is 85, and Cairo is 90. So Cairo's hot, we're going to use the word hot. So Budapest and Madrid were not as hot as Cairo. Now, can we use not nearly? Well, no, because Madrid is almost as hot as Cairo. Can we use almost? No, we cannot, because Budapest is much far below, not nearly as hot as Cairo. So when we're just using not here, that just means not equal, and that's the best choice when we're comparing these two cities with very different temperatures to the hot city of Cairo. Okay, I hope you understand that, and I am going to move on to the next one. Okay, we have comparisons with as, and let's read the directions. Okay, using the given words, complete the sentences with just as adjective as or not as adjective as. Okay, so for example, we have sugar and honey, sweet. Sugar is just as sweet as honey. Okay, now we've got light chocolate and dark chocolate and delicious. Well, whenever we're using the word delicious, this is a matter of opinion. So it's your opinion. You get to decide. So I would say, well, let's say that they're equally delicious. Light chocolate is just as delicious as dark chocolate. But if I think that dark chocolate is more delicious, then I would say light chocolate is not as delicious as dark chocolate. Okay, and then painful with a bee sting and a mosquito bite. Well, I don't know if you've had either one of these before, but trust me, a bee sting hurts. A mosquito bite is itchy. It doesn't really hurt that much. So, and I would also say that there's a big difference between the two. Which one is more? A bee sting is more. Okay, so that means a mosquito bite has to go first. So a mosquito bite is not as painful as a bee sting. Or we could say a mosquito bite is not nearly as painful as a bee sting. Okay, I would say a sunrise and a sunset are equally beautiful, so you know how to do that, just as beautiful as. A hard pillow and a soft pillow, comfortable. I would say that a soft pillow is more comfortable. A hard pillow is not nearly as comfortable as a soft pillow. A poisonous snake and a non-poisonous snake. Well, this could be your opinion, so we have different answers. And I'll let you guys look at these, and you can ask me questions about them. Well, the recording's going to end for this part, and I will talk to you more in the second recording. So thank you very much.